Imagine waking up after death, not in heaven, not in hell, but in a realm where your deepest fears and highest truths collide. For over 1,200 years, an ancient Tibetan text has guided countless souls through this exact journey. But here's what's fascinating. This isn't just about death. It's a blueprint for the greatest mystery of human existence. Today we're diving into the Bardo Thodol, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And what I'm about to share will completely transform how you think about life, death, and consciousness itself. Picture this: 8th century Tibet, a land where wild mountain peaks pierce the clouds and ancient spirits dance in remote valleys. Here, in this mystical landscape, something extraordinary was about to unfold. Enter Padmasambhava. But this wasn't just any spiritual teacher. From a young age, he displayed such extraordinary abilities that people called him the Lotus-born. Think of him as the Tony Stark of spiritual innovation, except instead of building iron suits, he was engineering ways to hack consciousness itself. But here's where it gets interesting. When Padmasambhava arrived in Tibet, he faced a challenge that would make modern corporate mergers look simple. Tibet was dominated by the Bon religion, a powerful shamanic tradition that wasn't exactly rolling out the welcome mat for Buddhist teachings. Instead of forcing Buddhism on Tibet, Padmasambhava did something brilliant. He created a spiritual fusion. He took the raw power of Bon shamanic practices and wove them into the sophisticated framework of Buddhist philosophy. It was like combining quantum physics with ancient mythology, and somehow it worked. But Padmasambhava's masterpiece wasn't just about helping the living. He had an even more ambitious goal. He wanted to create a manual for the ultimate human experience, death itself. Think of it as the most important user manual ever written, except this one helps you navigate consciousness when your body's warranty expires. The Chikhai Bardo, the moment of truth. Imagine your consciousness separating from your body like oil floating on water. You're faced with the most brilliant light you've ever seen, the clear light of reality. But here's the catch. Most people run from this light out of fear. Those who embrace it, they achieve instant liberation. The process is like removing all the filters from your camera at once. Suddenly, reality appears in its raw, unedited form. This moment is so crucial that the Tibetans spend their entire lives preparing for it. The Chönyid Bardo, the mind's final show. Your mind becomes a projector, casting all your thoughts onto the screen of reality. First come the peaceful deities. Imagine meeting the highest versions of yourself. These peaceful forms appear in specific sequences, each representing different aspects of enlightened mind. But then comes the plot twist. The wrathful deities emerge. These aren't demons. They're the same peaceful deities in fierce form. Think of it like seeing your kindest friend in a moment of righteous anger. Each deity appears with specific colors, symbols, and attributes. The real test isn't about facing these beings. It's about recognizing them as projections of your own mind. The Sidpa Bardo, the cosmic crossroads. This is where things get wild. You're literally choosing your next life. Think of it like cosmic channel surfing, but each channel is a potential rebirth. Your karma becomes your remote control. You'll see visions of couples in union. These are potential parents. The trick is to remain unattached and clear-minded. Most souls, driven by habit and fear, rush into any available rebirth. But those who understand can actually choose their next life, or better yet, choose not to be reborn at all. The first state, the clear light. Think of your mind like an ocean. Most of us only experience the surface, the waves of thoughts, emotions, and daily dramas. But beneath these waves lies something extraordinary, a vast, unchanging depth of pure awareness. This is what Tibetans call the clear light. Modern neuroscience has discovered something fascinating. In deep meditation, brain activity shifts from the surface areas of thinking and planning to deeper regions associated with pure awareness. It's like the ocean settling into perfect stillness. The second state, the mirror of reality. But here's where it gets really interesting. In this second state, your mind becomes like a perfect mirror, reflecting everything without attachment. Thoughts, emotions, and experiences arise like clouds in the sky, but they no longer control you. This isn't just philosophy, it's practical psychology. When you're caught in anxiety, anger, or fear, remembering this state can completely transform your experience. Instead of being the emotion, you become the awareness containing it. Here's where modern science and ancient wisdom start to overlap. The Bardo Thodol isn't just describing death, it's mapping consciousness itself. Those peaceful and wrathful deities? They're like a cosmic Rorschach test, showing you exactly what you've been carrying in your psychological basement. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, was so impressed by this text that he wrote a psychological commentary on it. He saw in these ancient teachings a profound understanding of the human psyche that modern psychology was just beginning to grasp. But here's the most powerful part. You don't have to wait until death to work with these teachings. The Tibetans developed specific practices. Dream yoga, learning to recognize dreams while dreaming. Practice for recognizing illusions in the bardos. Techniques for maintaining awareness during sleep. Meditation practices, familiarizing yourself with the clear light. Training and remaining calm during intense experiences. Developing stability of awareness. Contemplation exercises. Daily reflection on impermanence. Practicing with intense emotions. Preparing for the moment of death. Now you might be thinking, this is fascinating, but what does an ancient Tibetan text have to do with my life? Well, here's the thing. The bardos aren't just after-death states. We're experiencing mini bardos every single day. That moment between sleeping and waking? Mini bardo. The space between thoughts and meditation? Bardo. Those life-changing transitions like birth, death, or major life changes. All bardos. Even the gap between one breath and the next contains a tiny bardo. The genius of the Bardo Thodol isn't just in its description of death, it's in its revelation about life. Every moment is an opportunity for liberation. Every experience, no matter how challenging, contains the clear light of awareness. Think about it. In your deepest moments of clarity, haven't you sensed something unchanging within you? Something that watches your thoughts but isn't caught up in them? That's what the Bardo Thodol is pointing to. Let me share 3 remarkable stories of transformation. A high-powered executive who struggled with panic attacks discovered the morning gap practice. Within 3 months, not only did her anxiety disappear, but her decision-making improved dramatically. I stopped reacting to every crisis, she says, and started responding with clarity. A school teacher implemented the 90-second rule with troubled teenagers. The results were astonishing. Behavioral incidents dropped by 60%, and students started teaching the technique to their parents. A chronic pain patient found that the evening reflection practice changed his relationship with suffering. I stopped fighting the pain, he shares, and discovered a peace I never knew existed. Your story matters. If you've experienced transformation through these practices or know someone who has, share your journey in the comments below. Every story has the power to light the way for others. Who knows? Your experience might become the beacon of hope in our next video, helping those who need it most right now. But here's the most mind-bending part. According to this ancient wisdom, you don't have to wait until death to experience liberation. The same clear light that appears at death is available right now, in this moment. The only difference is whether we recognize it or not. As Ram Dass once said, death is perfectly safe. Maybe the Tibetans knew this all along. Maybe that's why they gave us this extraordinary map, not just for dying, but for truly living. If this journey into the mysteries of consciousness has sparked something in you, share this video with someone who ponders the big questions. Subscribe to dive deeper into ancient wisdom and modern understanding. Let me know in the comments. What's your take on life after death? Remember, in the words of the Bardo Thodol, recognition is liberation. Maybe it's time we all recognized who we really are.